Okay, so the underlying energy is the Eight of Pentacles. Underneath that, you have the Star. So what's going on with the Star? Progress. I like that. So you're definitely, this is about building something towards your dream, building, really putting effort and putting elbow grease into your dream. Right now, it's, you know, it's just all the hard work necessary. It's about focus and drive. But the situation has this going on with it, which is crazy. Which the Ten of Wands. Now, the Ten of Wands wouldn't look too bad to me if I knew that this wasn't necessarily a burden in itself. But it looks like you guys are taking on a lot of responsibility. That's one of the things that the Ten of Cups, Ten of Wands has kind of in store, right? Really what it's all about is, the reason why it's a burden is because you have a lot of responsibility. And I feel like the situation is that, yeah, you're working towards something, but I don't know if it's something that it's solo, meant to really be solo. Now, for some of you guys, if this is a career thing, then yeah. But you're taking on a lot. And I feel like you're not allowing people to help you, with the Empress being the crossing energy. There may be a bit of codependency here as well. There may be somebody that you're helping that you're not willing to not help, which is fine. You should be, you know, if you want to help someone, you're definitely allowed to. Nobody's judging you for that. But the situation is this: if you have a lot more on your plate, that's, you know, it could make you feel like you're not. It could make you feel like, you know, you're doing a lot and it's not really, you know, you're not taking care of yourself. You may be feeling like you're kind of floating in the wind, you know. Now the situation is this, right? With the Empress coming up, it could be that you're trying to create something, but you know, it could benefit you if you had a little bit more help, because the Empress, even though she's very good at creating her own abundance, and she's pregnant. So it doesn't mean that you guys are pregnant, and there's plenty of you guys out here that are gentlemen. You guys can't get pregnant, right? So it's more of the fact that what you're doing, if it's a dream that is something you can do solo, or something you shouldn't do solo, you know, because if there's some people around you, especially if you're building something within a relationship, if this is relationship oriented, you don't have to do everything alone. Now the situation does look like it's talking about carrying the weight of everything on your own because of pride. Be careful of that. Especially if it's something that could benefit you and in the long run, if you divvy up the work. Now, the past here has the Seven of Pentacles. There was a period of doubt, you know, not sure if you're wanting to put in all the effort, all that extra stuff. You weren't sure if you were wanting to do all that, right? You weren't sure if you were, you know, if this was really worth the effort and the time that was going to be dedicated to this. But I feel like you committed yourself fully and 100% into it, right? You know that this is something that you want. You know that this is something that could potentially get you to where you want to be, which is to maybe abundance or happiness of some sort that's really stable, or some sort of security here. And I feel like it's, with the Five of Swords, it's very interesting because the Five of Swords could talk about an empty victory. There's some sort of sacrifice. I think there's something going on where there may be feeling like there's a sort of sacrifice that you have to do. Like, it could be that you may have to divvy something up, right? There may be something that you may have to just kind of break or put into pieces. Not of course. Oh, if I could get the word out, if I stop stuttering so much, but I feel like with this Ten of Wands coming up, it's like divvying up different responsibilities so that way you don't have to tackle it all on your own. The Empress is a caretaker. She takes care of people. She's just as much as, you know, a caretaker as she allows people to take care of her, right? She can be very passive in that way to allow people to take care of her. And I feel like right now, the situation is this. You know what you're going for, but there's some sort of sacrifice. I don't know if you also, there still could be some doubt as well whether or not this is something that's worth doing, right? If this is a path issue is worth taking here, because maybe perhaps, you know, there is some sort of, like I said, there's a sacrifice that's needed here. And it may have to do with allowing people to help you, allowing people to chime in. But you have two cards that are very similar to each other, which is the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is showing up in your future, which talks about stability, support, security. She's very committed to what she's doing. She's hardworking. She's nurturing. And she will build whatever she wants to build, whatever she's committed to in the previous. But I feel like there's some sort of empty victory with this Ace of Pentacles. And I feel like it has to do with, you know, just accepting where you may need help. Now, your goal and ambition is obviously the Knight of Cups, which is fair, right? You want to have your dream. You want to, you know, get to where you've been dreaming of, or what you've been wanting for a while. And the thing is, the point of it all is to be content with it, not to want it, because wanting is only going to manifest you more want. And I feel like for a lot of you guys want to just feel good, feel happy, feel content. And right now you just feel swamped with everything, and it's not allowing you to be able to create something. So I feel like you're bogged down with a lot of stuff. So it's kind of hindering your ability to manifest. You have 3 cards in here that are about manifestation: the Empress, the Star, and the Knight of Cups. So with all that together, you're working harder rather than allowing yourself to be able to enjoy yourself, enjoy being in the now, doing what you can, focusing on what you can, and it's causing you a lot more worry and more, maybe not worry, but just it's giving you a lot more to kind of feel more tired about, I guess. Hopefully I'm explaining that correctly, because the 10 of Wands is not necessarily about exhaustion. 9 of Wands is. I mean, at this point, you could be fucking tired. But the thing is with the 10 of Wands, it's like you just have too much on your plate, and you may just need a little bit of help. And that may be the sacrifice, allowing people in, allowing people to help you, realizing what you can and can't, really what you can and maybe don't have to do alone. Now, the 5 of Swords doesn't necessarily have to be just selfishness and doing things solo. It could also indicate compromise. The Ace of Pentacles could be that there's a compromise here. And for some of you guys, you may just want all that you want. Like, you want the entire dream, not a piece of it, not a sliver. But maybe because you're taking too much on, it's causing this new beginning here, to be very difficult for you. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. That's taking help or whatever. But if you want to have happiness that makes you feel good, that makes you feel secure, surround you with abundance. If this is a domestic move, you may want to take on someone else. Maybe you may want to take on some different help. You're still in control. You're still in power. You just don't have all the burden on your shoulders. Now, your outcome is showing the World here. And that's very interesting, because I like that, because this is a successful completion. You move on, you leave one phase of your life behind, and it's a transition to the next phase, right? It's a successful completion. And I feel like it goes well with the Queen of Pentacles in the World. You know that you're independent. You know that you have everything that you need. You know that you're willing to work hard to get to where you want to be. It's just that with this Empress, 10 of Wands energy, with this Ace of Pentacles, you have a new beginning here. You don't have to do it solo. That's just like the biggest thing I'm trying to say. And this is what I'm kind of getting at. Like, you want what you want badly. And obviously, the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles, this pairing together already tells me that you really want this. You had a little doubts in the past, but you know for sure now that you do. And I feel like there is this need to take care of yourself in between there, to be able to have enough energy to put into giving, or putting into your relationship, or putting into your career or your future that you're trying to build. Let me see. Why is the Empress the crossing energy? So something regarding the past. I don't know if you guys are trying to have children and it's becoming a burden for some of you guys, or you guys are trying to create something that you wanted to have from the past and it's causing you great grief. Now, some of you guys may want to connect with somebody from the past, or really reconnect with someone from the past. Either way, whatever you're trying to create is stressing you out, because it may be something that you may have doubted because of something from the past. Let me go ahead and pull what your Romance Angels cards are. All in all, I feel like whatever you guys are trying to create, you can create. It doesn't matter. Like, it's obviously up to you what you decide to do. But with the Empress energy crossing the 10 of Wands, like, the challenge is the burden, and the obstacle has to do with creation, taking care of people, taking care of yourself, utopia, abundance. I think you just got so much on your plate that you can't be creative. Wow, pay attention to the red flags is coming up, and it says these signs are cautioning you. Now that's interesting because you have the Five of Swords here, which can indicate sabotage energy, but usually it indicates self-sabotage. Be careful that what you're trying to do isn't so, like, if you're trying very hard to do something that is not actually causing you more trouble than it is getting you to where you want to be, you know? So pay attention to the red flags. It's also showing, you know, pay attention to people that are actually trying to have your back, trying to help you. Because there may be, there may be people around you that actually want to help. You don't have to do it by yourself. But the situation is so interesting because it moves on to the Queen of Pentacles. You guys have seek answers within. It's very interesting. Seek answers within really is very similar to the Hermit, because you go within yourself. You do soul searching to find the answers that you're looking for. And with the seek your answers within, it really talks about finding, you know, finding the confidence within yourself, finding the things that only you can answer, finding the things that only you need, finding the answers to the questions that come from within, you know, the doubts or whatever, the fears, all those things resonate with you. So it has to come within. It's very interesting. Let me go ahead and read your affirmation. I did it for everybody so far, so let me go ahead and do that for you. See, what is the number? 36. Okay. It says, if you find yourself confused, your intuition and inner voice drowned out by the answers, wisdom, and advice of others, then it's time for you to step away. Withdraw to a place of solitude. Like the bear, it is time for you to hibernate, to go within and seek the void, and to embrace the silence that dwells within. Within that silence are the answers to your questions, and because they are answers born of your truth, they will be answers that will move you forward instead of hold you still. Amen. And that sounds a lot like the Ten of Wands and the Empress. You have a lot going on. It's not allowing you to take time for yourself. And I feel like, of course, you're driven. You know what you want, but it may be time. It may be just, it's okay to just chill, you know, to just give back to yourself, to literally just take a moment. Because the Nine of Cups, you know what you want. You're manifesting. And the reason why you're manifesting and with this Nine of Cups energy is not because you know what you want, but because you know that you can get there, and there's no need to worry, there's no need to stress. You'll have what you want in no time. It's confidence in yourself to know that you'll have that thing. It doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean want. It means to be content. But in order to be content, you have to believe in yourself, one, that you can create this. And I feel like the overbearing of responsibilities has to do with, you know, either some situation from the past where you were close to having it and it may not have, you know, whatever this Nine of Swords is that's causing you guys stress, you're stressed about some past situation. Maybe you guys are stressed about children. Maybe you have children of your own that you're trying to provide for, and it's like you don't really feel like, you feel like you're just swamped and, you know, just swimming. That's even more incentive to take a rest, to take a break. Hire a babysitter if need be. You don't have to do everything alone. And at the same time, if you're feeling swamped and overburdened with responsibilities right now, there's a definite need for you to take a moment to recede and to really reflect. There's a burden here, and it has to do with your creativity. It has to do with your ability to manifest. And I feel like you have everybody can manifest. It's just requiring not just patience, but, you know, proper care and nurturing of yourself and the things that you're trying to build. Eight of Pentacles is all about work. And it just feels like you guys are overworking. Even though the cards are telling me to say, pay attention to the red flags, pay attention to the red flags, look for the answers within. Something's just really big telling me for real, like there's something that is just really stressing y'all out more than anything. You're trying very hard to get to some sort of outcome, but be careful that you're not pushing it, that you're not forcing it, because you could cause yourself more pain than pleasure. But your outcome is showing the Queen of Pentacles. Stable, committed, you know, hardworking. You can get here. You're definitely in that direction too. But she takes care of herself as well. She doesn't just work her ass off without any sort of taking care of anything. You have to be able to give yourself back. Give back to yourself. But also know what it is that you know, that's worth your time.